Shut up and sit down.
Hey, and welcome to the Freja MMA podcast, where it doesn't matter if you're a casual fan or a championship fighter. Join us in our discussion about the beautiful sport which is mixed martial arts. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Freja MMA podcast. And first of all, I want to say congratulations for making it to 2021. I know it seems to be hard to believe, but we're finally here, and hopefully things will all get better. We have a new year, and we have a new look for the podcast, as you can see. Making it a bit more crisp, a bit more simple than the last previous background, should I say. But if you want the off one, then comment down below. And I know a lot of YouTubers kind of do this thing, but it would be great if you can just click that little button down below, which is the subscribe button, because hey, we got to see that you guys are following us, man. We got to see that you're following us. So, going into the new year, we got a great guest who is a Welsh fighter fighting out of Bellator MMA. Well, yeah, he's fighting out of his gym, but he's fighting for Bellator MMA. He is the coach at the Mat Academy in Wales, and all-round nice and funny guy. And if you stay tuned, you got to see his worst training partner on this show as well. So stay to the very end. So let me introduce everyone to Lewis Foot Long. Hey Lewis, how are you doing?
How's it going, man? You alright?
As good as expected with these times, but we're in a new year. We have a new layout and everything, so hopefully the MMA world and the world will start to fix itself.
The world. Yeah. It's in a shape. At least if you've completed Netflix already, you've got the news to watch, because that's pretty much a like an ongoing saga at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. So if we give a quick background on you, how did you get into your MMA journey?
Started like judo when I was a kid. Went from there into kickboxing, into Thai boxing, and then met one or two people that did MMA, and like a month later they said, "Oh, do you fancy a fight?" And yeah, that was that. Did you want more in depth? More in depth than that?
That sounds great there. And then you
Yeah,
became,
just
from what I've seen, the first Welsh fighter to get a victory in Bellator as well. That's quite a good accolade there.
yeah. I mean, well, yeah. So I suppose I don't think of anything like that. You know, I haven't got too much grandeur about myself. I just, to me, it's just fighting. I don't think too much of it.
So your most recent wins as well has been submissions. I also saw that you've done a grappling bout away from Bellator as well, and that you are a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Is that correct?
Yeah, black belt, kickboxing, judo, jiu-jitsu. Yeah, I've pretty much ticked a lot of boxes when it comes to martial arts.
So would you say that the commentators, the fans, are calling you a submission specialist now, or would you say that you're more of a all-round fighter?
Well, I still think of myself as a stand-up fighter, but I mean, I definitely submitted people a lot more than I am knocking them out. So, yeah.
So how is your 2021 looking right now with, fights in the future, and as a gym owner as well with the Mats Academy?
It's this is a tough one, isn't it? It's quite nice in a way, because I can just focus on myself and go do my training and still bring in one or two other pros. So I don't have to worry about doing any classes or any of the old issues of being a business owner. But at the same time, it's just still no fun, is it? You still haven't got classes, you still haven't got groups of people, you still haven't got that income. I miss. It's like it's a team, it's a family, and so there's like a little bit of pressure off, but there's also that worry of how long can this go on for without some real funding, and yeah. So I think that with the constant up and down of lockdowns, it's gonna hit the community so hard within like jiu-jitsu and the full martial arts, because I don't think there's going to be people who are too willing to commit to like monthlies and things like that, because it's just, I mean, it could be a lockdown next week, could not be, so it's going to put people off that type of thing, But it's not good, and I worry about my the amateurs and the low level pros that I have, because they're more hungry than anyone, they're dying to get in there, but the opportunities for them are non-existent nowadays. So I feel for them, because they always train hard, or we're training hard pre-lockdown, and now I'd be surprised if there's an amateur show this year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's very difficult. I mean, the pro scene is looking quite like it's continuing as good as it can, but the amateur scene as well. I mean, I'm not sure about local shows and that, but I think the IMF are trying to still push forward their competitions as well. But like you're saying, with lockdown and everything, it doesn't really add up.
I think as well, I mean, even if they do go ahead, like I still see some like jiu-jitsu competitions going ahead abroad, like some IBJF ones. And I think, I mean, if I went away now and won the IMAFs, IMAF, sorry, and there wasn't full representation of countries, I'd question my status as, say, a world champion. They can't get that. If all countries aren't represented because due to Corona, then there's a lot of people going to be missing out. So it's going to be obviously a diluted pool.
I mean, it will just be like, two people fighting for a Bellator belt where the champion is not allowed out of the country, kind of thing. It's like,
yeah, exactly. I mean, nothing on any of those people who want to do it. I mean, it's great to me, I'd always question it, but yeah, I mean, hopefully they can get up and running and we can get people competing more than anything, rather than being worried for who wins it or loses it. Yeah.
So how are things looking for you on your career-wise with Bellator?
Brilliant. I just signed just before Christmas, signed another multi-fight deal, which is a lot more lucrative than my previous one. So hopefully, they've clearly got high hopes for me. Hopefully I'll be in there with some good names, I think, again, I don't want to fight easy names, but, you should, they've re-signed me, and they did sack off a lot of people around the UK and Europe. So just excited to get back in there and show my worth, really, and hopefully get a couple of big names,
Well, congratulations on that, first of all.
Cheers.
So I don't know how it is with you as a European fighter representing Bellator, but we had some fighters from Sweden that was under Bellator contract that was allowed to fight outside of the promotion during this Corona time. Did you also have this kind of deal, or is this new to you?
That's new to me, and to be fair, I mean, the money that's offered in local promotions and things like that, or whatever promotions go forward, it's not worth getting injured for. I mean, I was lucky enough to get 2 fights last year in a grappling match. Obviously, would have liked more, but on the scheme of things, the amount, a lot of people didn't have fights or only one. So, I'm pretty happy with the year, considering the way it has been. So thankful of that.
Yeah, I mean, it is a huge risk to fight outside of the promotion and then go back with if things don't go your way, a loss, for example.
Yeah, exactly, mate. It's, it's too easy to lose, isn't it?
So you haven't heard of any plans of them doing any more European cards in 2021?
I've heard nothing as of yet. I mean, I messaged my contact Jude, and I said, just give me a call whenever, mate. I'm ready. I'm always in the gym, so taking a fight. I think the lowest I'd take a fight on notice, something like 2 weeks, but I could get down, like 80K in 2 weeks, So whatever, it's really good. I'm happy to fight. Like,
so you're keeping your fingers crossed for a Cardiff card in the year, hopefully.
Well, I mean, the thing is, UFC haven't put their stamp on it yet, and I mean, it looks like Bellator are trying to go to places where big promotions haven't been, like France. I mean, obviously Wales is a massive country at the moment, but with the signing of like Brett Johns, and hopefully myself continue to do well, there's not really much reason why we shouldn't put a card on in Wales,
Yeah.
Especially now there's no crowds really. I mean, it's not an issue of where the show is it? It's just getting there
Mm-hmm.
and putting it on.
In someone's little warehouse or shed kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as well, with Wales, you can really see that it is such a fighting nation. I mean, they've produced so many great fighters in Bellator and the UFC and Cage Warriors as well. Where do you think this kind of stems from? Is it something in the water, or is it just a pride thing, or how are they having such great fighters?
Well, it's just starting to come through now. There's a lot more coming through now, because obviously it's like MMA in the UK was 10 years ago pretty much non-existent, and it's just become more and more popular. And Wales was a little bit behind because we're a bit out of the way as well. But now it's building and building and building. But I mean, look at the rugby team. It's there's a lot of physical talent in Wales. And it's going to translate now when you see these kind of guys coming through, younger guys now in MMA. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of physical talent. I mean, I think it's from all the years of buddy working down the mines with everyone. We're all short and stocky, and obviously like to rumble a bit. But I think as I said, look at the Welsh rugby team, and they seem to do so well in the world and stuff like that. And, now with half a chance, with good coaching, which a lot of our teams have now within Wales, it's going to develop that physical stock into good athletes as well.
So if you wasn't into combat sports, do you think that would have been one of the career paths that you would have chosen, like rugby or another sport like that?
Yeah, I like rugby, but it was always too interested in the fighting side of it, if I'm honest. I was never really like a team player, if that makes sense. No, they're not a team player. It's like I prefer to be there alone doing it,
Yeah, it seems to be a running thing with MMA fighters about not really getting on with team sports, even though MMA is such team-based with the gyms and the coaches and everything like that.
Yeah, I mean, we get this all the time, with gyms, and it's like it is a team sport, but you fight alone. It's so hard to sort of convey that to someone who doesn't really who is part of the gym. They obviously just see the fighters, but you go through hell with those boys, as well. And yeah, strange, but yeah, I'm not a team sports man. Don't like the way they act. Don't like them. Don't like them at all.
Yeah. Maybe there's too much money in it as well sometimes.
Yeah, and you fight alone. You got no one to back you up, have you? Team people always seem to have people to back them up and stuff. But yeah, well, that's my
Yeah, I completely understand that. I'm hoping this next question comes without any regrets. But could you please explain your fight name? So it's Foot.
The Foot Long, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, no, it's not because of anything physical or any of my attributes or appendages, you'd say. It was one of my friends, Ricky Wright. He does the announcements for he's the MC for a lot of fights. So he's one of the people who got me into MMA, and he said, "Right, I'm either giving you a nickname or you can pick one of three." So then these were obviously the Foot Long, the Oblong, or La 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 Long.
Oh, that was a great one.
And now I still wish, I still kind of tempted to try and change my nickname to La 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 Long.
Just to hear the announcer say that would be great.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, looking back, that'd be a lot more of a fun one, But well, whatever, really.
Well, I did get a bit of a hidden personality from me. It says here that it's from a MC Mickey might. I don't know who that is, but he says, "Why do you hate MCs and why did you kick me?"
I kick it.
Oh, and throw me, I
just,
think it said as well.
sorry, I'd throw you.
Mm.
Oh well, I was in a bit of trouble, so I had to get out of the cage quick, and I had to make a distraction. So yeah.
No idea who that was. They wanted to keep themselves anonymous, so it just says Mickey might here. I'm not,
Make it. Oh right, yeah. Whoever could that be?
I'm not really sure.
I'm not sure. No.
So if the corona kind of thing clears out and all the vaccines works and everything kind of gets back to normal, how would you like to plan out your 2021? How many fights would you like to have with Bellator?
I mean, 3. I mean, I think 3 is a good one for a number of in year. You know, like 6 to 8 weeks training, week or 2 off, back in. Yeah, so I'd like 3 fights, a couple of I like competing in like jiu-jitsu and things as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if things were back to normal, it would be a case of just continually testing myself more than not so much the amount I can do or whatever. It's just whatever I can test myself in.
Yeah, I completely understand.
If they offer me a fight, I'll take it. I'm not. As I said, I believe I can beat anybody. It's just the right training, the right on the day, the right things, this, that, and the other. I believe I got the skills to sort of take on anyone. So why not try it and take on everyone? You got to get in there and prove it. So that's what I'm interested in doing.
I've seen in a past interview that you had great admire and aspiration towards yoga and how it has helped you in your longevity during fighting as well as being an edge. Could you just put some depth into that and give a bit of an explanation to that?
Well, I saw like Gracie's and stuff. Well, I saw that the Hulk episode where he was doing breathing to try and calm him down. And I was really interested about it. So over a few years, I was doing a little bit of yoga and got to know 1 or 2 people who knew a lot more than me. I got into like the pranayama, the breath work, and that's where my interest lied, because I wanted to know more about it, because I've obviously been very physical my entire life with martial arts and stuff. I wanted to do something that's good for me and going to benefit me, but without kicking my ass all the time. And so I got into yoga really with the intention of learning more and more about that and sort of the meditation side of things. And it went on from there. Obviously, you do that, you learn the practice and the movements, and it's just given me a whole sort of better life, really. I mean, when people ask me about yoga, they just like, I'm not flexible enough, I'm not this, and it's like, just do it. Or does yoga help strength? Does yoga help that? It's like, it helps everything.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it on a daily or weekly basis, whatever. It's just gonna help you. It's just no. I think it's the best sort of auxiliary training you could get towards, I think, any sport.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's football, but it's anything. It doesn't matter. It's going to help you. It's going to help recovery. It's going to help mobility, flexibility, strength of mind, everything.
So there you go, everyone. Lewis Long recommending yoga.
I mean, if you don't do it, I mean, I think why a lot of young fighters don't do it, obviously, because it's only till you start to get injuries and you can't do a hell of a lot when you're sat around the house with a broken leg or whatever,
mm-hmm.
and you start to look at things to do that you think aren't going to be too difficult or too challenging, and then you get into yoga. Well, I got into yoga and I was like, that kicks my ass. Like, it's tough. Like, yeah.
But I guess it's a thing of, it's a challenge, especially like as an athlete, you go into something and you feel like you can't do something. There's something that you want to beat. It's something that you want to succeed at.
Yeah. I mean, this is what it was sort of with yoga. I went heavy into doing like handstand and hand balancing work, which is like a strength and conditioning workout as anyway. So difficult. And then over the last few years, last year or so, I've just come away from it. The handstand work. much, or the sort of not showing off style of it, but the look, the sort of the Instagram look, doing handstands, doing this, that, and the other. I much just prefer just keeping it simple postures and just focusing on breath work with the postures more than can I do handstands or this or that. But I guess it all comes in waves, like anything with jiu-jitsu. It's some days or some weeks, some years you'll be hitting back takes or you'll be going triangles. You'll just all in a rhythm, innit?
Yeah, and I guess well, before recent years, there's always been a bit of stigma around just the word yoga. I mean, guys thinking that it's just something for girls or for hippies kind of thing. And then I feel like it kind of changed when this DDP yoga came out with the old WCW wrestler that came out and was like, yoga is not just for women, it helps so much kind of thing. And then I felt like it's just kind of flown from there.
It has. I mean, it's I heard about that. I mean, I just did yoga, but I sort of like you heard that you would like almost like a cripple with yoga and sort of what do you like not rebrand yoga, but put his spin on it and how much it helped him.
Yeah, I mean, he helped a lot of retired, professional wrestlers with their back pains and everything. I mean, that's not an easy sport either. The quotation marks for people that are listening in.
Yeah, no sport's easy. I mean, you see the way that those guys get thrown around. I know it's choreographed, but you can't put your body through that type of stress and not expect injuries.
Yeah, exactly. And right now in Sweden, I don't know if it's happening a lot in Wales as well, but everyone's looking a lot to the Wim Hof method, which is a lot of breathing techniques and putting yourself into quite uncomfortable situations with both ice baths and kind of hot saunas and things like that. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, well, a lot of my friends are now like, you've got a lot of reservoirs and rivers around here in Wales. And a few of my friends, what they do after training is they go up and they jump in the river and they practice then Wim Hof style of training. As I said, I come from like the yogic breathing system, and obviously they're all one and the same, and it's all the same sort of thing. But I haven't really got into the Wim Hof. I was going through a phase of like cold showers and baths and stuff. But it's cool, isn't it? It's cool like how he's sort of been so charismatic. He's made it. What's the word? Not commercial, but like he's made it accessible, isn't he, for people? And I don't think I've been trying for years to get people into breath work and introduce that sort of thing into practice, and it's been nigh on impossible, but of course now with Wim Hof and the challenge with the cold and the retentions and stuff, he's managed to do a great job of it. People love it. I said, like, my friends have gone up the reservoir today after our session, and they love it. They've been really using it to help them both body and mind. So it's can't fall back in you.
I mean, but before this whole Wim Hof thing, I've only heard about ice baths and things like that in recovery, especially in mixed martial arts athletes. I mean, I know that cryotherapy is quite a big thing in the business as well. Did you hear a lot of stuff about this before, and had you partaken in these ice baths and things like that?
Yeah, I ended up with a really bad sort of injury, which was like a bone infection in my groin, and then oh mate, yeah, crazy. Months in hospital, and then just the recovery from it. My abductors and hip flexors just not being able to do anything with at all. Not being able to squeeze, even a pillow together. So I was sitting in ice baths. I was doing anything that would help recovery. So, but yeah, I mean, I think it's great. I think it's I like the chat again. It's like a challenge, in it. It's like I like to see what kind of stresses your body can go through. And the cold is quite an interesting one, because as soon as you come out of it, you feel all the blood flow come back in. You get warm and you feel rejuvenated, don't you? So it can only be good.
So now I'm guessing that the yoga is more of a thing to stay away from these injuries rather than to recover from them.
Yoga is his own thing with me now. You're always going to get injuries, but this, you with extra room of movement, extra mobility, extra strength in areas where you wouldn't have before, you're not going to get injured as much. I mean, people always say injury prevention and stuff, which of course it does. But once you start to get into yoga, it takes on a life of its own. It becomes a lifestyle, not just I'll just do it once a week for injury prevention. It takes on its life of your own. You'll start your sessions doing a bit of it. You'll finish your sessions doing a bit of it. You know what I mean? You'll just start to pick it up, and it's one of those things that gets a hold of you, and you start. Well, you see when you see. I coach a lot of people, and you start with people can't touch their toes, and then within like a week, 2 weeks, they touch their toes, and they're like, I never thought I'd do that. And it's like with just a little bit of consistency, they see in benefits straight away, and it's like, yeah, well, if you can do that with a week or two of just consistent practice, then imagine what else you could do with more and more and more. So it's good.
Yeah, it's the kind of never give up kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, we can all, we all got our goalposts, and and it's a case of just keep trying to, take a step higher,
Exactly. So we'll talk a bit about Wales and there's a lot of names that have now become worldwide known names in the Welsh MMA community. Could you give us maybe a few names of the next generation of fighters that we're going to see break out of your side of the country?
From my team, I mean, I got like Aaron Khalid. He's Ben Ellis. He's just 3-0 now. Mason fighting. Was it next weekend? I think.
Yep.
He's just he's 10-0 now, and he's he's got a big fight ahead of him, and he always rises to the challenge. He's 10-0. I don't know the guy he's fighting, but everyone said he's not somebody to be taken lightly whatsoever. So and I don't think Mason would want to fight anybody that would be classed as an entry fight.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's going to be nice to see that. And he gets a win, big things then. Of course, we've got Jack Shaw. Was he 13-0 now?
I think so.
Crazy, fucking crazy man, crazy. But he's such a gentleman, And again, what a martial artist. You got Brett up there as well. But I think who's on the cusp of it? Who's on the cusp of UFC? There's not that many with that at that level now. Like breakthrough level, there's not that many. Because of course, like everybody else has sort of been signed. Owen Elliott's a really talented boy. There's plenty. There's crazy how many.
Well, what about any amateur fighters that are also from your end that you kind of see the fire in them that they will be going far in the sport?
I got a couple of amateurs. I got boy Talon, Deegan, Ethan, and they all around the ages between like 16 and 21, and like just insane, just doing whatever you throw at them, whatever workout it is, whatever, adapt, overcome, and smash, and they work, they work great and everything. I don't see how they can't be champions with, they got a great mindset, and it's like, I'm awed by them, which is quite, one thing, but I gain strength from them as well, to see how much they progress, and it gives me a lot of faith in myself and my abilities then as well. So I see how tough and strong and dedicated they are, and it gives me a whole new rev as well, to keep it going.
So from your thoughts from as a coach, is it better in the world of today where you can go straight into mixed martial arts at a young age? I'm sure from when you grew up and came through the different martial arts systems, and then finally came into mixed martial arts. Which pathway would you say is the one that works best?
I mean, it's hard to say one or the other. I mean, now you've got martial arts coaches like myself that have been prolific in other styles.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if you went straight into MMA with a coach like myself, but then I've got a full coaching staff that are, just pure Thai boxing, boxers, jiu-jitsu players. So it's hard to say, isn't it? I mean, the good thing about coming from a specific background, say like judo or something, it gives you those sort of unexpected moves that maybe you don't see coming as an MMA fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Like seeing that, like shoulder throws and things like that. You become, or like taekwondo, you get so mobile with your legs, so quick in and out with the points, that I think coming from certain backgrounds is it can really help you, But it's both, isn't it? You can't argue one or the other. I mean, having a good coach is always the best thing. Always the best thing.
Mm. I'd also like to ask, how's it going with your most difficult student that I think is sitting next to you right now? How's the pad work going with him?
Yeah, this little man. Look at him. Soppy little bugger. Come on. He doesn't want to come on camera. Come on.
Come on. We'll get like 100 more viewers just for it to be pet friendly.
Come on. Say hello. Say hello. Come on. There we go. Come on. What? Come say hello. We got him?
Yeah.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah, he was sleeping.
So how's the pad work going with him then?
We've woken the beast. Pretty good. I mean, we can't get him kicking yet, but I mean, I think it's a bit much to expect him to have 3 limbs off the floor.
Mm-hmm.
But his wrestling is pretty good. So, Khabib's got the bear. I've got this little bugger.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's a new wave of training with animals now.
Oh, mate, I tell you, he's lovely, man. He's in the gym with me every day. He comes around with me. He's so easygoing, so soft. Everybody loves to see him in the gym, doesn't he? Everybody needs a motty in the gym, don't they? But I've had to stop him sleeping in the bedroom because he does my head in, night. He jumps up on the bed jumps up on and off the bed all night.
So this part of the program, we usually give the mic over to our guests to give thanks to any family, friends, fans, inspiring people, anything like that. So, or sponsors included. So here will be your time to do that.
Obviously I give thanks to my family and friends and loved ones, but sponsor like Tatami's always they've been good to me for years. Always give me new stuff. You can't beat them. They're fresh and cool kit. I got a few guys, the friends that do sponsor me, and I can't fault them for it. But I love them all, and thank you to everyone at the Mat Academy here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and my mum. Obviously you got to give thanks to your mum.
Always. So I hope 2021 is a better one for you. As you said, the last year wasn't too bad, according to how the whole world is. I can't wait to see you compete again. So we'll keep an eye out on you. Okay, all right. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.